you feel like talking about what it is that bothers you, Miss Harris?
Yes, I do. Miss Gook, it's about your uncle forcibly bringing my father home all the time.
Has he done that again?
He done it several times last week, and he done it this morning.
No.
Father's getting so he's afraid to go outdoors.
Vic and Sade, brought to you by Oxidol, the soap that's famous for washing clothes so clean, they're white without bleaching. Tonight we open Oxidol's White Without Bleaching book to the story Vacations Can Be Embarrassing. Mrs. Milner says,
Last summer, my husband and I shared a vacation cottage with another couple, the Greens.
Oh?
And each of us furnished half the linen.
Fair enough.
Well, when I hung up the towels I'd bought next to Mrs. Green's, I was really embarrassed.
Embarrassed?
Yes, because hers looked so much whiter than mine. Why, they were so white, I even asked her if she bleached them.
And then?
She said no, that Oxidol washes clothes white without bleaching.
And that's a fact. Actual tests prove Oxidol washes even the grimiest pieces cleaner and whiter than less active soaps can ever do. Oxidol billows up in mounds of suds, real hustle bubble suds that lift out even ground-in dirt. Sheets, tablecloths, shirts, all come so clean that except maybe for downright stains, they're sparkling white. White without bleaching. And colored wash things in rayon sparkle, too, because Oxidol's so safe for all of them. So next wash day, hang out a sparkling wash. An Oxidol wash that's white without bleaching. Well, sir, it's late afternoon as our scene opens now. And here in the living room of the small house, halfway up in the next block, we find Mrs. Victor Gook and her neighbor, Mrs. Florence Harris. Mrs. Harris is holding forth somewhat intensely as we join the ladies, and we hear her saying,
I was completely perplexed. I said, Miss Donahue, aren't you even going upstairs and see what it was that fell? No, she said. It probably doesn't amount to anything.
It was in the attic that something fell, huh?
I'm positive it was the attic.
What's going on in that attic?
See, I'd run over to return Miss Donahue's meat grinder I borrowed when mine went on the blink last week. We were standing there in the kitchen, and we heard this crash from up above. It had to be the attic, because if it had been in the back bedroom right over our heads, it would have been simply deafening. It was the attic, all right. Oh, I pretty near jumped out of my shoes. What on earth was that, I said. Something dropped, I guess, Miss Donahue said, and then tried to change the subject. Can you imagine having something crash to your attic floor and not going up to investigate?
No. And now let me tell you something about Donahue's attic. Twice last week.
Oh, I believe I heard somebody in the kitchen.
Oh, yes, that's Irvin, my groceries. Irvin? Groceries?
Afternoon, Sadie, honey.
Your uncle.
Hello, Uncle Fletcher.
In the living room, are they?
Yes?
Miss Gook, there's something I'd like to take up with your uncle, and I'm just wondering if I shouldn't do it right here and now and with you present.
Why, how you mean, Miss Harris?
Oh, it's not very pleasant.
Oh?
Say, she's sharp out. Can't be more than 25 degrees. I was riding on Gumpox's garbage wagon, and I liked the froze. Well, Miss Harris, ma'am.
How do you do, Mr. Rush?
I got no pain. I got no cough. There was a snake on my coat lapel. I'd brush it off. That's what the dead game sports all say in St. Paul, Minnesota, when they want to coax the titter out of their sweetheart. I got no pain. I got no cough. If there was a snake on my coat lapel, I'd brush it off.
There is a potato peeling on your coat lapel, Uncle Fletcher.
That comes from riding on Gumpox's garbage wagon. Almost unavoidable. I challenge the most fastidious half-wit on the face of the earth to spend an hour on Gumpox's garbage wagon and remain tight. You just watch that fastidious half-wit. You'll find a stalk of celery or a chunk of bacon lying in his hair. Miss Harris, ma'am, you're looking mournful as a zebra. Did Dwight 26th forget to drop your mash notes and the sack of peppermint chocolate eclairs today?
Miss Harris is troubled about something, Uncle Fletcher.
She'll enjoy that. No, but you give me the most fastidious numbskull you can dig up. Let me put him on Gumpox's garbage wagon for just 1 hour. If he don't crawl down out of that garbage wagon with a watermelon seed plastered to his chin or an eggshell caught in his necktie, I'll swallow a Stilson wrench and I won't ask for cream and sugar.
Do you feel like talking about what it is that bothers you, Miss Harris?
Yes, I do. Miss Gook, it's about your uncle forcibly bringing my father home all the time.
Has he done that again?
He done it several times last week, and he done it this morning.
No.
Father's getting so he's afraid to go outdoors.
What conversational topic has sprung up now? Hey, I'll tell you, ladies of Fathead thing. A gang of the different ones was skulking down to the interurban station.
Uncle Fletcher, the conversational topic that sprung up is you. I understand you brought poor old Mr. Sproul home again this morning.
Yes. Miss Harris, thank you for that, Harvey.
Exactly the opposite.
It wasn't nothing.
Mr. Rush, my father's an elderly man. The doctor says he has to have fresh air and sunshine.
It wasn't nothing.
And you're making him so he hesitates to even go out on the street.
It wasn't nothing. It wasn't nothing.
Uncle Fletcher, pay attention to what Miss Harris is saying. She's not paying you compliments. She's upset.
No, it never inconvenienced me in the slightest. No, it wasn't nothing.
Uncle Fletcher, listen.
Beg pardon, Sadie?
You're not being praised and complimented. This business is just the opposite.
Sadie, honey, I
Miss
believe...
Harris is troubled and upset. She wants you to leave her father alone.
A person has a right to walk down the public street without being forcibly dragged back home.
Ladies, aren't we growing a shade excitable?
Miss Harris
just
not
got
gonna
to
stand
stop.
Now, just what is our trouble? One at a time now. Easy does it. Miss Harris, ma'am, suppose I hear what you have to say first. Sadie, honey, you just listen for a minute.
You just listen for a minute. After this, you are to leave Miss Harris's father, Mr. Sproul, strictly alone. Do you understand that?
Do I interpret you to mean... Miss Harris, ma'am, you object to my taking your father into custody and using my own personal time and seeing that he gets home safely out of the freezing weather?
I certainly do object. And so does Father. Why, he said this morning you pinned his arms down to his sides and forced him to walk the opposite way from where he was headed.
He resisted me.
Oh, he did, huh? Well, what right have you got
He
to...
resisted me. He resisted me. Naturally, I pinned his arms down to his side.
Well, what right have you got to pin my
resisted
father's
when
arms
he
down to
was
his
down
side?
Entitled
to
to
his
manhandle people?
Hey, what's going on in there?
Miss Harris, give me a straight answer to this question. You object to my taking your father into custody?
Yes. Yes, yes, yes.
That's what we're trying to tell you.
Hey, what's going on?
This poor old chap was walking along University Avenue there, and his shawl was flanced way down by his elbow, and his half-wit baby bonnet was fleanged alongside one ear.
What affair was that of yours? He was on his way to the grocery store. And it's about the 5th time he's been on his way to the grocery store and been brought back by the scruff of his neck.
Hey, what's all this?
Miss Harris, ma'am, I can only say this.
Dr. Miller says my father's to have plenty of fresh air and sunshine. You've got him so he's on the point of hiding in the basement.
Miss Harris, ma'am, I can only say
You
that...
describe this pitiful picture of my father standing out on the sidewalk, forlorn and neglected. He's my father, and I'm responsible for him, and he's not forlorn and neglected. If the weather isn't all right, I wouldn't allow him to leave the house in the first place.
Hello, Kate.
Hello. Uncle Fletcher, you don't mean to do anything wrong. You mean just fine.
There he
But
stood, poor old chap. His shawl yunched down alongside his elbow, and his sad little baby bonnet geeks on top of his ear.
All right. Splendid. But, Mr. Rush, the next time you see my father with his shawl yunched along his elbow and his baby bonnet geeks on the top of his ear, you just go right along and follow your nose and tend to your own affairs.
Hello, Sade.
What?
Hello.
How would you like it, Uncle Fletcher, if somebody bigger and stronger than you made it their business to chase you home the minute you set your foot outdoors on the sidewalk?
Vic, honey, I appeal to you.
Don't bother.
Suppose that crony of yours, Sweet Corn McGlock, grabbed you by the collar every time you took a notion to go skulk in the interurban station.
Vic, honey, you are an intelligent man.
No, I'm not. I'm a fathead. Let me out of this.
Miss Gook, do you know what happened after dinner this noon?
No, what?
Father went outdoors in front of the house and saw a man walking along the street and thought it was Mr. Rush and began to run.
Run? At his age?
Yes, he began to run. And he fell down.
Did he hurt himself?
No, but he could have.
Why, he could have broke his hip or something.
He could have killed himself.
And the running.
Yes, and the running. He came in the house all out of breath and exhausted.
Uncle Fletcher, did you hear that?
I believe Vic here will back me up in the statement which I am about to make at this time.
No.
Uncle Fletcher, did you know that Mr. Sproul ventured out on the street this afternoon and saw a man and thought it was you and started to run and fell down?
I will elaborate on that.
Oh, Miss Gook, I'm ashamed of myself coming over into your home and talking loud and sharp the way I've been doing, but I felt so strongly about this business that...
Sure, I'd have done it myself.
Mr. Gook, I let myself get so excited I never even noticed you come in.
Good afternoon, Miss Harris.
Good afternoon.
We, all of us, has human weaknesses, and it's useless to deny it. Reverend Pumpaw Caheen of Belvedere, Illinois, who passed away in 1909, used to tell his congregations earthbound creatures never knew the extent of human frailty,
hello,
but that trees and vegetables must survive the blistering storms.
My daughter Florence in there.
Your father.
Yes.
Reverend Pumpaw Caheen delivered himself of that sentiment for the last time in 1906.
I'm in the living room, Father.
All right, Florence.
In 1907, he weakened. In 1908, they sent for the relations in Ohio. And in 1909, the soul left the body, and Reverend Yeen was taken to Phoenix, Indiana, and given decent burial.
Good afternoon, Mr. Sproul. Good afternoon, Mr. Gook. Good afternoon, Mrs. Gook.
Hello, Mr. Sproul.
Hello, Florence. No,
Oh, Sproul.
no, go away.
What's the matter, Sproul?
No, go away. Keep him off me, Florence.
Father, wait. What are you going to do? No, Father, stop. You can't crawl under the Davenport. Father, get up.
Which concludes another brief visit at the small house halfway up in the next block. And in your house. Are you still saving used fats? The war is over, that's true. But it won't affect the fats and oil situation for many months. Right now, there's only one place extra fat can come from, and that's your kitchen. And it's to your advantage to save it, because used fats are used in making such scarce items as soap and soap powders, paints, oils, radios, refrigerators, nylon, and telephones. This week, during Thanksgiving dinner preparations, you'll probably be able to save extra amounts. And used fats are so urgently needed that you now get 4 ration points plus 4 cents cash for every pound. So save every drop every day, won't you? Listen tomorrow night, same time, when the makers of Oxidol again bring you Vic and Sade, written by Paul Reimer. But right now, listen.
Say, did you know that just one cake of Camay can mean a smoother, softer skin? Say, did you know that just one cake of Camay is the way you should begin? You ought to try it now. You'd better start today. The Camay mild soap diet is the lovely woman's way for softer and more glamorous complexion. Camay, Camay, Camay.
Yes, just changing from incorrect care to mild Camay means a lovelier complexion. Remember, Camay.
This is Roy Pillsbury inviting you to be with us again tomorrow evening for Vic and Sade. Until tomorrow, then, good night.
This is CBS, the Columbia Broadcasting System.